Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. It is Francesco here. So in today's video here on the Keep Productive YouTube channel, we're taking a little dive into TickTick. Now you guys know that I'm not a TickTick user, although it may be in the last year I have given it more kudos because it has been really consistent, and to be fair, it's been doing very well. I always give credit where credit's due, although I'm not a TickTick user. Now what I want to do in this feature today is share with you how I would set up my TickTick account. As you can see from my profile, I have obviously been using it as a dummy account for about maybe 3 years, I think, in total. Maybe 2 years, I'm not too sure, but it has been used to some extent in the past, and it's something that of course, I always have accounts for other to-do applications, or because I like to check them out. Of course, that's part of my job here on the channel. So I'm going to show you how I would set it up with a few of the items I've got to do today. So hopefully this will give you a nice overview of me sort of like feeling out the application, not actually setting up my own setup, but actually allowing you to understand how I would go about setting it up in a process. Hopefully it becomes valuable. Just let me know in comments whether this is useful, because this is like the first time I'm doing this, so honestly this is more of a sort of demonstration to some extent. So you can see here that I've opened up today, and let me just start writing out to some extent some of the things I've got to do this evening. So I've actually got to record 2 more features after this on YouTube, 2 more times YouTube. This is what I put, and I probably press enter, because that goes automatically to my Today tab. And as you can see, of course, get this separate section here. Now I would want to add some subtasks. So what I would do is I would add some little checklist subtasks here. I'm using the web version here, but of course you can use whatever version that you like. Now what I actually need to do is I need to record, I think I've got record introduction to bullet journal. That's by Matt Ragland. I think it's Ragland. I'm either butchering his surname or that's not going to work out. I'm going to record the ending to the tools they use, episode 1, kicker. So as you can see, I've just created 2 simple ones here. What I'm probably going to do here is I'm going to create a brand new project. And as you can see, I've got a few here like work and things like that. These are all dummy accounts. So I'm going to add a list here called YouTube. And I'm going to add a lovely red color to it. I'm also going to add it to the folder of content, because that's part of the job that I have. And I'm not going to hide it from today in this extent. So you can see here that, of course, it went away. I got obviously a new tab here. So you can see that that's there. I can start adding certain tasks to this section here. But I haven't actually added it to it yet by the looks of it. So I'm actually going to move it to content YouTube. And as you can see, when I go back into here, I've got an outline. But in this case, I actually need to edit 5 times YouTube videos. So I'm going to actually go into the project here and dump my item here. So I'm just going to click today. Actually, I want to set a time to it. If I'm honest, I'm going to be doing it a little later tonight when other people go to bed, and press enter. So you can see here, I actually want to outline some of the edits that I've got. So I just need to add, okay, I need to set up review, me time review. Actually need to do this one, set up TickTick. That was my distraction self. And drafts for iOS. I know that's not 5, but just for exemplatory purposes. You can see here as well, what's quite cool is as I'm going throughout the night, let's say at 10 PM I'm doing this, and I want to set markers like, okay, 10%, oh, I'm doing it. You can see a little oval comes up, which is quite nice. So later on today when I'm doing it, I've got this really nice sort of like understanding of how far I'm in, so I can also give a medium level priority, because that's relatively important, and a low level priority to this one. I quite like how those indications come up, and of course I can move them about or even move them as subtasks, but I don't really want to in this case. Now the brilliant thing now is I'm going to start adding a few of the housework items that I need to do. So in this case I'm going to I might actually put them outside of a one. So all I need to do is change the bed, hoover, clean drawers. Perfect. That's all I need to do. actually a high priority because it's getting out of hand. And if I skipped, I could add it to home, which I've already pre-created. And as you can see here, a high priority comes in. It doesn't come up with this sort of subtask stuff, so it knows clearly I need to do those. And what appears down the side is this quite nice layout here. So brilliant thing is, that's pretty much the items for my today. It's later in the day now, so I haven't got as much as I need to do. Maybe I need to set out a few items for tomorrow. So I would go to the next 7-day view, and I would probably add a few tasks here. So I'm actually going to look what I've got actually to do tomorrow in my current to-do list application. And I've actually got for the morning tomorrow to, I'm actually skipping out a lot of work items here, you can see. I'm purposely doing that because of also protection of data and things like that. But tomorrow morning I want to learn a bit of Danish, like take a little 5-10 minute gap to learn a bit of Danish. So maybe I'm not going to set a time to it, but maybe I want to set a reminder because it's actually quite important for me to get done. So I'm actually going to put a 9 AM reminder on here. So I'm going to click OK. So as you can see, it's coming up there. It's a low level item and I'm going to put it in fun, but I'm not going to put it in movies to watch. Actually, it's already gone in movies to watch, so you can't select a folder as it. That was just me being dumb. I'm going to press enter and then I'm going to go into fun folder and I'm going to create a new one called learning, like a 5-year-old I am. I'm going to press save. And then I'm going to go over to fun. I'm going to go over to movies to watch. And I think you can drag, right? There we go. Drag it into learning. And as you can see, that item appears there. Now, what's really cool and what I specifically like about TickTick is the customization functionality. But I think that's something I'm going to look at in a minute, is actually this ability to go into the calendar function. As you can see here, it will give sort of a nice indication of what I need to get done. What I don't like is that these have come up as all day. That's just something that I am sort of against in some extent, but I do like the previews. And of course, I like the ability to add at certain times. So if I wanted to, and you know, I did that today. Let me open this one up a sec. You saw earlier I did this 10 PM thing. I can extend it if I wanted to, or I could be like a little more specific. I like that. That's something I actually do thoroughly enjoy. So it's something that I'm sort of like in love with / not in love with. So that is something that I would note. I like the actual breakdown. If I was like to go, okay, what do I actually need to do for YouTube this week? And actually go onto here and be like, oh, okay, brilliant. All of this comes up. Fantastic. But as you can see, this is my next 7-day view. Now, let me just add a planning session that I was actually meant to have tomorrow. Actually, let me just add a planning session I was meant to have on Wednesday. That's for client planning. So I'm actually going to set a time for that one. I'm going to set 12 PM. And something I missed out on, a duration. So I can add a specific duration to it. I'm going to say an hour and a half, just to give me plenty of time to bring stuff in. And let me add a medium priority to that and move it to work creating and enter. Now that's one of the brilliant things. I can maybe add a little bit more detail about my planning process here, or even things that I need to get done. I can even add comments or just add the uploads if I had any specific activity to do with it. But as you're seeing down here, I'm actually getting quite the overview of items. Now, to be honest, if I wanted to, get a sort of better outline of stuff that I need to do, I would want to get this view. Like, one thing I like inside of Todoist is the drop down to see all of my items, but I do like this breakdown of dates, so I can hide a date. Let's say I just want to focus on Wednesday, and an item comes up here. That's something I like, but the one thing I have sort of fallen on or have not enjoyed in seeing this process is the drop down of the subtasks. And maybe I'm doing it all wrong, but I can't see a way to visualize subtasks apart from them coming up here in this third panel. Now, apart from that, guys, I would probably use inbox for a lot of my adding stuff in. I would get rid of completed because I wouldn't like to see it. And I would probably use this as a way to skip forward and see all of my tasks in advance and maybe even add them directly there and I would help work out how to clear out the completed section. Now this is an experimental function, but I quite like this one. If I wanted to print out exactly all of the items that I've done for the day and send it to people, plus a percentage of the completion, then I would like to share that one, and that's quite a nice overview. So if, for example, me and my team are like, oh, okay, where are you with everything, Francesco? I could go, okay, I'm going to look at these, movies to watch. Actually, no, I'm going to go to what I've actually done learning-wise today, copy, paste, undone, etc. This is quite a nice overview. Now, going over to my setups side of stuff, I would probably keep most of this majority default stuff. I've been using Soul as the layout already, but I would probably move to something a bit more city-like. I quite like, because I don't know whether you can see, I've got the background as a city, and that's quite something nice for me. But again, this might be a bit too intense. Like, I do like the whole TickTick thing, but I don't think that the themes are that amazing, just because they're a little bit distracting, but that's maybe just me. I sort of don't like the fact that I cannot see everything there. I wouldn't use all, just for an example personally. I wouldn't use all because, again, I'm seeing no dates, I'm seeing completed, but again, that might be just my process. Anyway guys, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video. Honestly, that was just something that I wanted to do to share sort of my process to some extent. I'm not really sure whether it will be entirely valuable, but hopefully it gave you a few gems to how I would use TickTick. Again, I'm not a user of TickTick, but I do endorse it recently based on some of their advancements in their functionality and also the progression with their consistency. So guys, let me know in the comments below what you think. If you'd like 2 months free Skillshare, then check out in the description below because I'll add that there. That's just a little bonus, but hopefully you'll find it valuable. Anyway guys, I hope that you enjoyed this feature. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to have a great week, keep productive, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Cheers.